Everybody, lots and lots of pasta today. We've got one more recipe for you, and this is another one of my go-tos, like my grandmother's beef stroganoff, which I also just love. If I'm feeling a little more chicken, something a little more light, but I need a real quick fix and you want to do something a little special, this is it. It's my chicken with lemon and artichokes. So it starts out with boneless, skinless chicken breast, and just depends on how many people you're serving or how many, how big the chicken breasts are. Sometimes they're ginormous, which in this case they're really big. So 2 to 4 chicken breasts, boneless, skinless chicken breasts. And you notice I'm putting them in a plastic bag because I want to pound them a little bit. This way they're going to cook a lot more evenly. Just flatten them a little bit with a meat mallet. You can also put them in between 2 sheets of plastic wrap. These are really big chicken breasts, so they would have taken quite a bit of time to cook. This is really going to cut the time in half, if not more than that. You want to use the flat side of a meat mallet, especially with chicken breasts. I don't want it tearing apart. If you don't have one of those, a rolling pin or just even the back of a heavy skillet like this does a great job. Okay, so at this point, I want to get my chicken breasts out of the bag, and I want to season them. I'm doing garlic, salt, and pepper. You know me, I love my garlic salt, but regular salt and pepper would work just fine too. And then I'm going to dredge them in a little bit of flour. Just a nice light coating of flour is going to give a little bit of texture to that chicken, a teeny bit of crunch. Okay, heating a couple tablespoons of butter and a couple tablespoons of olive oil. I want to do both butter and olive oil. Butter is going to give it some great flavor. Olive oil is going to get that chicken nice and brown. All right, so chicken breasts are seasoned well, and I want to season them on both sides. Lightly dipped into the flour on both sides. And then see how when we pounded these, they got even that much bigger. So you don't want to overcrowd the pan. I'm going to turn up my heat and get those going. Perfect. Want those to be nice and golden. It's going to take a minute or so, and while that's doing its thing, I'm going to start working on some of the other ingredients. Okay, so I've got some fresh lemon juice. This is really a light dish, which I happen to love. I like making this, when I'm craving spring or something fresh. I've got a can of artichoke hearts that I want to drain those. And I'm using the unmarinated artichoke hearts. Sometimes I do go for the marinated ones, but this I really want the lemon and the chicken to flavor the dish, and sometimes those can be really strong in flavor. And then again, some fresh lemon juice. Let's check on our chicken. And because we pounded the chicken breast, this is going to be pretty quick. Another one of the ingredients that we're going to use, something called capers. You're going to find these in the pickle aisle of your grocery store. And this little jar you can keep in your fridge for several months and use it the next time you make this or use it in other recipes. It's really great in tartar sauce. But it's got like a lemony, kind of like a lemony dill flavor, and they're just fantastic, and they really add a lot to this dish. Even my daughter Ireland likes them, and she's a kid, she's picky, but at first she's like, what are those little things? And now she's a big fan. So just give them a try. All right, time to flip this chicken breast. Getting some really nice color on that. And then I'm just going to get a plate. So we're going to make a quick pan sauce, very similar to how we did the beef stroganoff. So basically we're going to use the flavors that we've got from our chicken to create a quick and easy but delicious pan sauce. So I'm going to get this out of the pan, and at home you'll let it cook a little bit longer, that chicken, but we are going to throw it back into the pan to cook a little bit. And so you see we've got some of the flour from the chicken and some of the great bits from the chicken. So I want to take some dry white wine, deglaze the pan, and because we had a little bit of flour in there, it's going to tighten up the sauce. Now we're going to take our quartered artichoke hearts, some of those, get those in there. Our capers, you don't want the brine that it's in, you just want a couple tablespoons of the capers themselves, which have a nice, like I say, lemony flavor, and then some fresh lemon juice. And a little bit of chicken stock. So it's a real light sauce, unlike the sausage and the tomato sauce that we made or the stroganoff. This is something a little bit light, actually pretty healthy. You could certainly cut back on the butter. We did use some butter, but you can cut back on that. In fact, now we're going to go in with a little bit more butter, but this is completely optional. You don't have to do it. It's going to tighten up the sauce is what you're going to see that's going to go over our pasta. So at this point, I'm going to take this, turn the heat off, and actually take this off the heat and take 1 tablespoon of cold butter and whisk that in at the end. And what that does, this is a French technique, and I do it in a lot of my pan sauces, and this is something they do at the fancier restaurants, is it's just going to pull the sauce together without using any more flour or any kind of thickener. So I'm using fettuccine noodles. So our pasta chicken can go actually back into the pan just to warm it. And then when we come back, I'll take this chicken and the artichokes and the capers and put it over a bed of fettuccine, and this is really delicious. So stay with us, we'll be back.